Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know what's up with my mic. Hmm. God is good, and we are live. Okay, I see you now. I see you. I see you. I see you. Mm. Yep, it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful Sunday morning in sunny St. Petersburg, Florida. Yes. Yes. Can you hear me? Check microphone checker. Microphone checker. Yep, it's a beautiful day. And as always, we want to wake up on a Sunday morning, like every morning, and give thanks to God. I woke up with certain verse or certain few verses on my mind. And so and we also want to react in some real time. I like to react in real time without actually listening ahead of time, and we're gonna react to it together. I'm doing my brother a righteous perspective this morning. Um, as always, the brother Wise, he brings it. He's somebody I listen to on a regular basis, and I also recommend, as well as a black conservative perspective. All right. I guess that's pretty much what we're gonna do. We're gonna get to it. It's your boy Crown Dion. I appreciate you joining me. God is good. If you haven't been told already, I'm telling you now, and God loves you. Let's get to it. First thing I want to do, I want to kind of, I really, first things first, I want to highlight uh, this verse in the background. I think this coming from Matthew, and I'm bringing it up because it's been a heavy subject lately. It's been a heavy subject for a lot of people, and sometimes I don't know, or I don't know if people realize, just what this verse is saying. And so anyway, we're talking about persuasion of the children, and we're asking, or we're actually looking at, what did Jesus say, or what does the word say in regards to uh you know persuading the kids in bad ways, leading them in the bad ways, giving them bad ideas, giving them unworthy, unrighteous ideas, giving them ideas that will tell them they are different from who God told them they are, from who God made them, and from who they are destined to be, or were, or could have been, or was born to be. Yeah, that's probably the better way to say it. Who they were born to be. Because if you say who they were destined to be, then that will give someone the right to say, well, obviously they changed, and that is who they were destined to be. So we're going to just say born to be, telling them that they are different than God gave them birth to be. As the great Mr. Rogers said, if you're born a girl, you stay a girl. And whosoever shall receive one such child in my name receives me. Hmm. I want to make sure what verse we're talking about. All right, this is Matthew chapter 18, verses 5 through 7. Matthew chapter 18. That's why I say in the thing, don't get mad at me, get mad at Matthew. Matthew, John, and Luke. You're mad at them guys. And Mark, Paul, formerly Saul. So that tells you can change. That means if you're in a rut, if you just feel like you've been sinning, you feel like the dirtiest, lowest sinner in the world, be not dismayed. Think about Saul and who Saul turned out to become, to be. Still a man, but his purpose was changed. All right, so this is from Matthew. Let me say that again. Matthew chapter 18, verses 5 through 7. And whosoever shall receive one such little child in my name. In the King James, the old King James version, it sounds more like it says, whosoever will receive one of the little ones. Jesus referred to the kids as the little ones. And so whosoever shall receive one little child in my name receives me. But whosoever shall offend one of these little ones, which believe in me, it were better for him. And the Bible doesn't actually add her because they didn't have to back then, but I'm just going to say for him or her, it would be better for him or her to hang a millstone around their neck and to drown into the sea, to be thrown into the sea so that they may drown. That's basically saying you might as well unalive yourself if you are disrespecting the children, if you are leading the children down the wrong path, if you are deceiving the children. It also goes on to say that it drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe unto the world because of these offenses. What offenses? Matthew did not expound on that. But I'm going to expound on it a little bit. I am not the judge, but I'm just going to try to say, speaking as a man that's just looking around, seeing what's going on today, I would say the offenses would be indicative to these things that we see going on today. Now, we know there is none perfect. So, yes, we're not talking about, and a lot of people like to say sin is sin. I'm going to agree with you. But I will say, but I will add, but, and I don't mean, but like Megan Thee Stallion in Atlanta. When we have what we have today, as far as the Bible also tells us to obey the government. It's somewhat, and we know, there's a question about why things were written and this and that, but it tells us to obey those in charge, the government. And so when we have that government to start pushing, enforcing, mandating, writing into law those things that would directly go against God, I think it's different. So I think at some point you have to look at the Constitution and then say, okay, well, the Constitution was written so the government don't get to the point of how it's gotten now. The Constitution gives you the right to bear arms, not against your neighbor, but against a government that may try to overtake you. I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying at some point, where do we separate church from state? And that's the problem with the joining. That's the problem with the joining of church and state. All right. So it says also, woe unto the world because of these offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come. So that means it will happen. These offenses are going to happen. But woe unto the man or woman by whom that offense comes. So it says, yes, woe unto the world because of these offenses, for it must come. But woe unto the man or woman, it doesn't say woman, but woe unto the man by whom those offenses may come. Now, I think, I think it's kind of fair to say if you're telling a child, if you're telling a kid that's still yet learning every day something different about himself, about herself, as by the way, we do that as adults as well. But when we find that man is mandating the education of you are not who God assigned you to be. God didn't make you to be this gender. God didn't make you to be a Mary or a John or a Mark. God didn't make you to be a Jezebel. God didn't make you to be this thing called a woman or a little girl or a man or a little boy. Now we have political power actually pushing this narrative to the point where the political power is so powerful that it actually has the church helping to push this narrative. At what point do we say the church made with hands is part of the destruction? At what point do we say the church made with man's hands is starting to be part of the big destruction instead of being part of the solution? Part of the problem instead of part of the solution. In institutions where our kids go to learn math, learn to read, learn comprehension, learn about themselves, they are actually being taught to counter what mom and dad is teaching them at home. Because most moms are telling their little girls, you're going to be like your mother. And they teach them things that women have been taught. I'm just thinking. I would think that because most fathers look at their sons, and though they do want a better version, if they're smart and if they actually love their children, yes, they want to put them in a position where they may have more than their parents, but they definitely want to instill some of them into them. Definitely those good parts of themselves. And most of the time, that just comes as simple as being a man, letting a boy grow up and try to be a boy. If it's a father, he's gonna definitely want that boy to play basketball, football, do some of that. At some point, he gonna do the Cowboys and Indians, maybe detective type of thing. He gonna play with some, I don't know the little kids. I don't know the little toys anymore of today, but the boy toys. And we, by the way, when I was coming up, there were no what they call unisex toys. We didn't even hear that. I'm not gonna say they didn't have them, but it wasn't a focal thing to where you say, all right, that means they want to have both things happening in one area, or one person can multiple people can participate in this one thing because it's the same. It fits both. Those narratives wasn't with us, and now the older parents of today have totally laid down on that, and they are willing to let the government start to take the place of the Bible, and they are willing to let the government start to say, we can show you where God may have went wrong. That is what's going on. And so I just want to be reminded. I just wanted to read this for my independent voters who are watching this and understanding that who's in control right now. You know, we heard Kamala Harris talk about how it's time for change. We hear all of these Democrats continue to say this stupid stuff. That lets you know, what are they thinking? Kamala Harris literally said it's time to turn a page. It is time to change. And I'm thinking to myself, did anybody tell her she has been in control? Her and Joe Biden. It's a shame that we have to say Joe Biden's name second, but has anybody reminded them that they have been in control for the last almost 4 years, and they're asking for another 4 years, and she don't even realize she just had 4 years? So she's saying it's time for a change, and I want to let her know, just like a lot of you already know, she's right. Change back to something that we experienced before coronavirus. Changed back to when a family was a family. A man was a father, and he actually grew up from a little boy. When a woman was a woman and she grew up from a little girl. There was nothing to argue about when it came to that. Yeah, man could have been chauvinist, man could have been racist, man could have messed up a whole bunch of things in the history of America and the world. And I'm not just talking about a white man, I'm talking about man. Even when you look at the Vikings, they had war. But you know what they did not have? They did not have Viking kings and leaders or whatever, not kings, but leaders. And when it came to the English army and so forth and so on, Genghis Khan, no point in history. I haven't heard the leaders actually talk about changing their daughters over to turn them into kings. As a matter of fact, some of them unalived their children if they couldn't have the right, to keep the legacy going. Man, don't let a mother not even be able to have a child. So having children was important. And having your son know that he was a son and he was to grow up to be a king, a prince, was important. Having your daughter know that she was a woman and she was destined to be the princess or the queen, which could only be a woman. But now you look in America, we see women times of the year won by a man. Time Magazine Woman of the Year. All of these different things, maybe not Time Magazine, but all of these different rewards, championship, this is the best of the best. Everything that they almost every category went to a man when it came to a category of women being the best in this position. Even the gold medal in the Olympics this year went to the gold medal for women's boxing went to a man. This is crazy. So I'm just reminded, I thank God for another day. I thank God for you, and you. My brother Van is dealing with a loss in his family. God give you strength, drive safe this morning, brother. The brother Wise, man, from a righteous perspective, who I'm going to also be reacting to today. We communicated today. I just give a lot of props to somebody with 250,000 followers. Millions of views. I looked at some of his analytics today. Millions of views. Um, because him and Van, brothers that I've spoke to on the phone, that's saying a lot, because you could actually reach out to some of these people and you understand that they're only doing it because it's working for them. They may be getting paid for it. The glory of being in front of a certain amount of viewers. I don't have that because I don't have that many viewers, but I do appreciate the ones I have. I do appreciate those that come across and support the page from time to time. But my brother from a righteous perspective, and the brother Van, those are people I recommend. Those are people, also Anton, a black conservative perspective, Pops in Politics, Melanie King. We don't have to continue to be dumbed down by the regular news that it is paid to keep us dumb. We don't have to tune in. We don't have to give them our views. We don't have to give them our support so they keep getting paid. They stay on the air because we're helping them. And instead of helping them, we should help other people. Like myself, thank you. All right, but yeah, that brother actually reached out. I reached out to him. He responded to me in within 5 minutes, and it shocked me. And it also let me know that he was worthy of the follow that I gave him. More than worthy. I mean, like I said, somebody with over 500,000 viewers and hundreds of millions of views in itself. That was awesome, man. So I appreciate that, Wise. And we're gonna get to. I wanted to read that verse one more time before we actually looked at a video that Wise just posted, and we're gonna be looking at it together. I haven't looked at it yet, but I want to say it one more time for those who are not sure what you're doing. For those who have not heard a word, believe me, they're not going to try to give you the word. For those who may find themselves having that internal battle with something they may be supporting, are you supporting it, or are you pushing it, or are you just keeping silent? I will tell you, you are, in my opinion, I think you're supporting it. I think at this time and point in time, I know everybody don't believe in the voting system, but if you are not voting, you are actually supporting what you are. If you're not voting for it, you're supporting the other narrative. If you're voting against it, then you're against the other narrative. And it's like you don't have to like the Republicans to say, I need to stand up against what the Democrats are doing. Not that I like the Republicans, but if the Republicans don't win this time, there may be no Bible. There may be no religious freedom. There may be no what they say, a right to bear arms freedom. We already see what they are doing to the what so-called freedom of speech. We see it. We see it in real time. That's a joke at this point. And so I think when they say threat to democracy, like I always say, every time they say something and try to bury it in your head, they say it multiple times. Those are the things that they are guilty of. Those are the things that they are guilty of. Period. Matthew chapter 18, verses 5-7, to my independents, to my Democrats. These are the things that you should think on as you try to decide what is the right way to go. Put a face out of your head and put the words Republicans and Democrats out of your head if you have that type of strength. And just say, what side is going against God? And what side seems to be allowing people to have their ideal of God in their lives? But more than anything, if you're in America, they seem to be pushing and standing behind a Christian ideology. They seem to want to be strong Christians. Now, conservative on some ends ain't always good. I understand that as a revolutionary. But do I believe in conserving some of the things that America has given us, even when it looks like, even when some of it is part of what we call the hoodwink? Yes, I do. Because there would be no freedom of speech at all. I would not have been able to be communicating with the chief in Africa that I actually met in America. I would have never met Malcolm X's grandson, Harold Taylor. So many different people who I have been able to organize with, and we did not organize under the name of some kumbaya, everything is all good, let's be patient. No, we organize under America is the enemy, and not the enemy, but America has been bad. And the history of America doesn't bode us well if it continues to go this way. So we must organize. So I'm saying that to say we were able to say things that the government was not happy with, but yet and still we were able to say it. So I understand that some of the some things do need to be conserved. God, that ideal of God needs to be conserved. To tell me that a righteous nation is worse than an unrighteous nation, or an ungodly nation is better than a godly nation, you're insane. And you haven't lived in the right community if you believe that. And so in a position where we are, where more, a high percentage of black men have felonies, communities where we cannot bear arms legally, those are times where we need communication, we need love, we need strength in our community, we need men in the community. And so, yeah, some things do need to be conserved. And if the Democrats get in control, I am afraid that all of those things, not afraid like the fear mongering, but they're doing it in real time. We see it. They're doing it. They're battling against our children. They're giving our children all kinds of ideas that will tell them, man, you don't have to be godly, righteous. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to love people. You don't have to love kids. It's all about you. Have fun. Breathe. It's all about the earth and the environment and the fun. Smell the waters of the ocean and just, kumbaya. Everything is good. You don't need children. That's what pets are for. These people are losing their minds, and that is absolutely opposite of what God said when he told us to go forth and replenish the earth. By the way, we cannot replenish the earth without the beautiful women of the earth. So, Matthew 18, verses 5 through 7, and those whosoever shall receive one such little child in my name receives me. But whosoever shall offend one of these little ones which believes in me, it were better for him that a millstone was hung about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe unto the world because of those offenses. It must come. It will happen. But woe to the man or the woman, I like to add. Woe to the man by whom those offenses may come. So by whom those offenses may come, by what party, by what government branch, by those who follow, by those who continue to push it, so forth and so on. Period. My brother Wise, A Righteous Perspective, his description, in the description, you'll see the link to this video. Let's hear it.
Will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Because I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Her color. I thought that Martin Luther King said the color wasn't the issue. I thought it was the content of our character that we were supposed to be.
Boy, I can hear that accent. I love that's a New Yorker. I'm thinking that's a New Yorker. Could be Phil, could be that's a New Yorker.
Recognized for, but she's gonna keep running on that color. She's gonna have a misconception about how black people really roll.
Hey, welcome back. It's your man Wise, and yes, I have a great video to share with you guys. Black folks up in New York, man, are waking up. Now, mind you, it's one of the bluest cities in the country. We know that a lot of black folks been voting blue, no matter who, for a very long time, but tides are changing. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this video or to this channel, and make sure you drop me a comment. I'm so looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. And without further ado, let's go.
How do celebrities like Justin Bieber and The Rock generate millions of
Identity politics has been a big topic since Kamala Harris was tapped to be the Democratic nominee for president.
Correspondent Kara Castronova asked voters what they have to think about that. Here's that report.
The latest polls show that Vice President Kamala Harris is gaining ground with some Black and Latino voters. But those very same voters say that things are going badly in an America run by President Biden and VP Harris. And former President Trump is still polling high with Black voters at 20% in the latest, for example. They could be the story of this election. So, are Black and Hispanic voters persuaded?
Yo, did they just give love and to give a shout out to the Black MAGA brother? I can't think of that dude's name. I think he does go by Black MAGA. I think that's who he goes by. But shout out to that brother there. The song jamming. If y'all guys hadn't heard it, go check it out, man. Go show that brother some love, man.
By identity politics or actual policies. We hit the streets of the Bronx.
No. Go check out Crown Dion. That brother is jamming. And I spoke to my brother Wise about that. Definitely, man. You know, one thing is funny to me, odd to me, is most of the songs that you hear about Trump, they're actually just using the hype of Trump. They're most of the content is it shows the negative things of Trump before it actually highlights the good things. I mean, it sounds like it's mostly like speaking out to rappers and hood people. And maybe it is, but let's hear some of the beautiful music of Trump, the beautiful music of not just Trump, but that side of the equation that people should aspire to, listen to, and love. Some of that stuff you can't even let your kids hear it because it's no different from hearing that other garbage that they listen to all day. And sometimes when it's like that, you can actually confuse what you're hearing. That's why when some people talk and they speak to some of the brothers, I hate to see it. Thank you, Deja. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh man, I didn't even. Okay, yeah, I really hate to see that. When a lot of people are giving common sense, you talk to the women, and they'll actually give you some facts sometimes on why Trump might be the right, vote. They have kids, they have this and that, so they can actually talk to some facts. But I really hate to see it when they put the microphone in front of the wrong brother. Not to say that all brothers don't have better things to say, but I hate to see this notion that, man, Trump gave us that stimulus check. Those are the dumbest reasons to highlight because it makes other people think that's the only thing black people want. That's the only thing that they're smart enough to realize that Trump was good about. If that's the only thing that you can say was good about Trump, then you missed it. And you just as bad as the people that are saying vote for Kamala because she black. So please get on the real things. Understand why real people, black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, blue, yellow, purple, why people want to see this man back in the White House, other than the fact than the money that was given out. How about the money that was made on people's businesses? How about the record businesses, number of businesses that was born under that administration? So I'm gonna get to some comments. Yes. Agreed about the Trump musicians. Thank you. Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy because it for the Democrats, they get to point at it and say, listen to this mess. Listen to this garbage. Listen to them make him sound like a thug. That's who y'all want. And that's what they're doing. But then they hear somebody like my music and they won't highlight it at all because it's too soft. It's talking about too much common sense. Even the Spanish ones, like they just jumping on the bandwagon for clout. Yeah, man, it's really, really crazy. It's crazy, and so yeah, I say that. I appreciate Wise, and I appreciate him highlighting musicians in itself. Hopefully, he'll highlight my music, and my music is somebody the whole family can listen to, and actually makes sense, and actually something you can agree with without just hearing Trump sound like he's some type of thug, murderer, and all kinds of pimps, and he's they actually highlight the bad stuff that the Democrats are trying to stick to Trump anyway. They actually make that narrative fit better for the voters. The best thing that can happen if you want Trump back in, the best thing that can happen. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get back to my brother Wise. I actually been having some bad thoughts because I think one of the best things that happened is Kamala is absolutely horrible when it comes to speaking in front of a microphone. That is why she had to do the event not live, or she had to do the interview not live. And for those of you who are saying, oh, well, she do events live, that is totally different. It's easy to stand up and dictate to people what you're going to do, especially when those people can't challenge you. They can't say nothing. Because if you say something, I get to just highlight you in the crowd. I don't want to get the microphone. So if I got a microphone and you out there trying to catcall and say something, I get to make you look stupid in front of, however many thousands of people there, besides the people on the news as well and the TV. Instagram, social media, once they get hold to it. So in front of millions. So it's nothing to stand up in front of people at a rally and dictate to them and talk down to them, talk at them, which is totally different from Trump's rally. I just hate to say it. I'm not yanking on Trump, but it's totally different from his rallies. I mean, literally, this guy gives questions to the crowd, and he gets his answers by applause. You know, he actually gives free polls. Like he says, he don't pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for weak, fake polling. He just asks the crowd, and they give him answers. And so that might be one of the best things to happen if you still want if you're voting for the Republicans. But the bad thing is they cheat so much. Kamala feels very, very comfortable. She actually leaned in on the side and said that's not going to happen. Trump's not going to win. All right, I thank you. That's right. Your songs highlight real realities. It's PG rated too. My opinion, Crown Dion songs made me understand. Ooh, I gotta highlight that. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So, let me see. Where's the private chat? Okay. And then the group. All right. Yeah, man. I think it's really indicative, and it makes me really think about Judge Marchand. It makes we know Alvin Bragg has definitely manned up, and we saw Alvin Bragg step back and say, "I don't think we should sentence Trump or deal with it until after the election." That's manning up. That was huge. He left it in Judge Marchand's hands. I hope Trump don't get too relaxed, because if they have proved nothing at all, they have proved they'll do anything to hold on to power. I wish these Republicans would shut their mouths. They need to just shut up, because the one thing they don't realize. You got all of these dumb Republicans. Maybe they know what they're doing, but stop screaming for Joe Biden to take some test. Stop screaming for Joe Biden to be pushed out. He's already been pushed out. But you don't want Kamala Harris to come in and finish this presidency. That's not what you want. Trust me. We already know the power of an incumbent. An incumbent wins most of the time. But not only that, if we talk about some things that would be done or could be done if Trump was to win in votes before that election is certified. Yeah, some things could happen. Before that election is certified, some things could happen. And I don't know if Joe was willing to go as far as Kamala is. We saw Joe, but we saw things reluctantly. We saw Joe still be willing to talk to Netanyahu, whatever his name is. This guy, Israel. He was still willing to talk to him. Kamala Harris just brushed him off. And no disrespect to my Jewish people. I wasn't making light of his name. I don't really know how to pronounce it, so I do apologize. Sometimes I do. Sometimes it comes right out. It rolls right off of my tongue. But right now, I'll just refer to him as the Prime Minister of Israel. And Kamala just really treated him like he was a small guy. Like he was nobody. And he may be nobody to the common person sitting at home, but politically, that was not the right thing to do. Yeah, definitely not the right thing to do. So, yeah, I kind of think about, I just don't want him to relax because too many good things are happening. What do I mean by good things? Kamala Harris getting nominated or coronated. the whole world can see. And I don't think you can say what you want about first of all, I want to give a shout out. I mean, as witness to people that support me, I see a lot of women. As witness to a lot of women all over YouTube, our sisters, our Latinos, our Puerto Ricans, even the Mexicans, the ones that are actually coming over the border, the women look to me to be stronger than the men. I mean, they are not going for it. So I give props, and I'm saying that to say, I'm not taking anything from the women or anything from the men, but it's so many people are not thinking about the things that are coming out of this lady's mouth. The record, we can see it. We have seen it. Video after video after video. And then she stood, one of the most important things that she said on the interview the other night, and people better remember it. Because she said it more than once. I'm going to do my best to mimic her without sounding like a woman. But let me make this clear. Let me posture like she does. When she makes it clear, she actually sits and points and makes sure she's looking at the camera. She does a better job to let you know that I'm looking at you, to make it known to you that I'm about to make it clear that I'm gonna make nothing clear at all. Man, that was a cool word salad. I almost sounded like Kamala without actually sounding like Kamala. Let me see if I can say it again, which I'm positive I won't be able to say it. She looks right in the camera to look at you, to make it known to you that she's about to make it clear when it's going to be absolutely clear that nothing was made clear. I said it different, but it's clear that I had my point with clarity without having a point at all. All right. So, but my point was definitely made. This lady is clear about one thing. She made it clear. She looked you right in the eyes and she said, let me make this clear. I have not changed my policies, my stance. I have not changed in what I believe in. That's what she said. Even though y'all hear me saying something different, I want you to know that I have not changed at all in my positioning. So in other words, I have to tell you some lies right now in real time, but if I can look at you perfectly in your eyes and say, I'm still the same man. Hey, I know what's going on right now, but I'm still the same man you met 10 years ago, which I am not. But I'm saying, if I can look at you and say that, I am the same man you met in 1989 when I went to prison. If I can look at you and say that for a fact, more than once, and I tell you, let me make myself clear, then I understand that means that I'm doubling down on my own self and I am telling you the best truth that I have about my own self. I am making it clear that I am still the same man that went to prison in 1989. And if somebody stands before you and say that, you should not feel the need to tell them, no, I believe you've changed. I believe because you just made a roundabout change within the last, excuse me. No corona. Thank you. But I love the way you did that speech. I love the way you brought Megan on stage and she was shaking like she believed in you. So if Megan can shake like that for you, if John Legend can come out and always do the same thing he does when he's told for you, if all of these rappers like Plies and these comedians, by the way, some of these comedians have finally attained kings of comedy. They're, I mean, D.L. Hewley, I didn't agree at first, but now he is definitely a king. This guy is funny. Not really funny, but it's funny. This guy actually went on and said, I made a mistake when I said to, I mean, these people are apologizing. They will apologize for their truth. and actually look down and talk to you and yell at you and make you try to feel stupid for not believing them when they lie. Wow. So yeah, I really hope Trump don't get too comfortable. I'm gonna get back to that. And yeah, don't get too comfy, man. Yo, DM, what's going on? Yeah, don't get too comfy on those things, please. And President Trump, don't get too comfy. All of these good things are happening. Kamala Harris keep dropping word salads. More history and proof keep coming out about this guy Tim Walz. Um, so when you think about some of the laws he made, was he drunk when he made those laws? Since now we know he's been arrested for drunk driving and stuff like this. Was he drunk when he made these laws? This guy is going in swinging his knife like crazy, making all kind of laws against the citizens. Snitch hotline, snitch hotline. Man, that's the tops. Nah, it's not the tops. Also, the tampons in boys' bathrooms in elementary school is the tops. So yeah, the more yeah, it gets no better. So it just keep getting good for Trump, which can also make you feel, ah, this is spooky. Don't get too comfortable, Mr. Trump. I hope somebody from the Trump or some good person from the Trump organization, if they haven't said it, I hope they hear this and say it. Let them know, hey, nah, things too sweet. It's getting too sweet. Alvin Bragg not drops the ball, but steps up. He mans up and said, nah, we should wait. So now it's up to Judge Merchan. So what does that mean? And we also find out from the investigations of the attempted assassination, by the way, isn't it odd that the assassination attempt is forgotten almost by all Democrats and all independents, it seems like? Only people thinking about it is Republicans, and it's hard to think about it then because you keep hearing so much stupidity, lies, and more drama. And Kamala keeps getting thrown in front of our faces every day. It's like you wake up and you say, "Thank you, Lord God, for another day." Eat, kids, eat. Okay, do what I gotta do. All right. What did Kamala say next? Let's see. Let's find out what she said last night. Or, what did the migrants do last night? What cop got harmed or hurt? What people got forced out of their homes in this state or that state or in a sanctuary city near you? That's it. We wake up, thank God, and do our quick duties that we got to do, and then we're trying to find out what the hell happened last night. We're trying to be shocked by something that's coming from all of the doings of the Democrats. People are rarely waking up saying, it's possible. But if we looking for what Trump said, it's probably going to be something funny. Like he offered Kamala Harris a MAGA hat because she's copying everything Trump is doing now. All of a sudden, she wants to build a wall. All of a sudden, she wants to fund the wall. Anybody believe in this lady? Wow. I need your information on your bank account. I'll make up the story later after you give it to me. Oh, that's how sweet it is. Let's get back to my brother Wise. I hope Trump don't get too comfortable. We know about the attempt, but we find out that before the attempt happened, it was another man who made an open message and attempt to make his attempt before the real attempt. Word salad, word salad. So before the real attempt, there was another man that the FBI already knew about. They were already trolling and already had under their surveillance of another man that made an attempt on making an attempt. And they foiled that attempt. But they never told Trump about that attempt. So before the real attempt happened, the fake attempt should have been known about, or the non-successful attempt, or the non-successful thought on an attempt should have been known about by the Trump campaign, the Trump security team, the Trump detail, the Trump administration, the Trump fans, everybody, everybody should have knew about it. Because chances are the rally in Pennsylvania would have never happened that day. So these are things to think about. So yes, definitely don't get comfortable. President Trump, back to Wise.
To find out.
She's using her color. I thought that Martin Luther King said the color wasn't the issue. I thought it was the content of our character that we were supposed to be recognized for. But if she's going to keep running on that color, she's going to have a misconception about how black people really roll.
She's absolutely right. And the thing is that a lot of Democrats out there that, they want to talk about getting rid of racism and things of that nature, but they are the ones that keep racism alive in this country. It's them. It's them that keeps talking about, we want all these DEI and all these other types of things. They want to keep everybody focused on race. And to be honest with you, they want to choose people for opportunities based on race. That's the reason why Kamala Harris is in the situation that she's in, because basically mandated that they hire a black woman regardless if she was qualified or not.
If you bring somebody into office that looks like you, but then continues to detriment your community, what was that for? But if you choose somebody who can raise your community, then you chose the right one. Yes.
Wait,
so
who do you choose?
Personally, I choose Trump.
That young brother right there, he has a future. Somebody find that man. Find him, get him in. Hopefully he's in college or something along those lines, but get him in office somewhere. Get him to intern somewhere at one of these campaigns or something along those lines, because that young brother right there, man, he's got a future.
Who I think is more qualified to run the country. That's all I'm looking at.
Black Latinos are starting to be a little bit more critical. They're fed up of their hard-earned money going to illegal, undocumented people.
Kamala Harris did not do a good job on the border because
I love what that brother just said, the first brother. I love what everybody's saying, but yeah, it's like people really, really highlighting it and saying it as it is. Black Latinos, Latinos, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, all of these different people in America, different backgrounds and different cultures. What is wrong with my people? That's all. I'm thankful for my people that are helping, that are waking up, and are helping and keeping their awareness going. But man, it's really insane to see how it seems as if sometimes we just love the bottom. We love to be the boot for everybody to step on, the stepping stone for everybody else. And when they step up, they look back and say, I don't know what's wrong with them. A guy asked me that on a live feed one night, and he said, no disrespect. I'm gonna just be honest. His family migrated from Mexico, and he said, no disrespect. I pulled him up on TikTok feed, thousands of people, we listening. He says, my family, I was born here, but my family, he was born here as a baby. So they came over. Mother pregnant, dad, had one job. He said when they got over here, his dad worked 2 to 3 jobs, and they have never seen the side of struggle that we see. He said they got with other family members, they build together. It was just amazing how you could hear. He even spoke of education, none of the struggles that we have. And his only question was, why is it that we can come with nothing and build up and seem to be in a position where we have much more than you are willing to have or actually have? And there was a nice question. I understood something that he did not understand, but that doesn't change the facts that he laid out. And yes, so I did let him know that some things that he might not see. And I did let him know some of the other histories that were tied to a lot of different things, but nothing I said changed the facts. It just changed how those facts came to be. All right.
from what I know, a lot of people were coming from the other side and doing a lot of bad things to what we call home.
I think she's not a good candidate for president because she's with Joe Biden for the past 2 years, a wreck up in New York,
Colors don't matter, man.
Right, they don't.
Ask God, man.
That's true. So what do you think about a candidate that uses their race as a selling point? Do you think
that's some weird
that's weird?
You lost. You lost already, 2024. If you racist today, you lost.
He's absolutely right. And see, that's the problem. A lot of these Democrats, man, the Democrats are Vince Lombardi. And the only play that they have is this race play. And we'll call that the Packer sweep. And that's it. and the league has caught up with the Packers sweep. There's no more Super Bowls for them. They got to change the game plan. That's pretty much what it is. We're not falling for it anymore. And what we do know is that the policies that they implemented, they actually were a detriment not only to the Black and Hispanic or Black and Latino community, they've been a full-fledged detriment to the country as a whole. And I am so glad to see brothers and sisters up there in New York seeing it for what it is. Don't let these people play with your emotions.
Going against Trump.
It's not about race, it's about what they provide for the society, is what they could do for the community.
With her putting a lot of Black Americans in jail for the marijuana, they're not really going for her.
We also got people's thoughts on Trump's recent comments on Harris's ethnicity.
She was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black.
Yo, that is hilarious.
I just want to say it didn't bother me. And now that I have done my research, I can definitely see that it's pretty much true. When she did a interview with somebody when she was running for senator, they definitely said to her, "You are the first Asian, not Black Asian, first Asian to be running for senator. You will be the first." And she was, yep. She ate everything up. She identified as Asian almost every time when it came to running, especially being that she was running in California, where she did not need Black people. So when she did not need Black people, she did not identify as Black. And it's all over the internet. You just have to remember that and remember where she is. So if you don't know where she is and the makeup of the demographic of that, then it probably won't make as much sense. But I'm going to be totally honest, like I complained about in Walmart. Demographic is everything. 2 weeks, yesterday, I was in Walmart. And probably I don't go to Walmart a lot. I like to order online instead. So probably 4 weeks before that. So in the span of a month and a week, I went to Walmart twice. Actually, a little bit longer than that. I needed jewelry cleaner. That was funny. But anyway, I went to Walmart twice within the last 2 months. I'll say that. And so one time I went, and this just shows us. This shows me something. And I don't want to forget my California point, but it goes hand in hand. So people in Florida, stop sleeping. I'm gonna say it again. People in Florida, stop sleeping. We don't see it because we have Ron DeSantis, and we refuse to see it. We want to be blue. We want to think blue. We want to love everybody. While that is getting pushed down our throats, we don't want to complain about nothing because it's supposed to be sin. Let me tell you something. It's happening here too. We're not seeing the violence of it. But anyway, I went to Walmart 2 times in the last 2 months. Both times I asked for help by somebody who told me they spoke absolutely no English. And then within 5 minutes yesterday, after this lady said, "Oh, I speak," and she sounded like she didn't. She sounded like she could have actually just crossed the border literally. So I believed it. But I did say, "Why are you on the floor?" Which brings up my California point. You know, I'm like, why are you out here? And I'm looking around and I'm looking at a store with 80, 90% Black people in it, and a few rest of them are white and a few Hispanics. And you're on the floor to help people, but you speak absolutely no English. That's BS. These people are being trained not to even deal with Black people. Better believe that. You are an enemy. How do I know this? 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes later, I'm watching her have a full conversation with a white guy. I'm not too dumb to know, or not too dumb to think this white guy can't speak Spanish. So I walked over there, being the bold guy that I am. And they were speaking perfect English. And I pulled out my phone. I actually recorded this. But I said, "I just want you to know I'm the one you just told, you didn't speak English to. And you just had a perfect conversation." And she looked at me and act like she couldn't speak English again. She just nodded. That same situation happened in a different Walmart about 2 months ago. Now, reverse that. I was in California thinking I was back in Florida one time. And I had an issue in nonetheless, Walmart. And I went to them thinking I was back in Florida. Talking about what I was talking about. I was sending money somewhere and I had to go through all of this. So, hey, give me a manager. Give me a manager, man, because it's a actual language breakdown here. It's a language barrier, and I need to speak to the manager, bro, because you're not cutting it. You know what they told me? No. What you need to do, in so many words, I mean, they had somebody come out and explain this to me. They had a guy that could speak English. No. What you need to do, homie, is you need to go get somebody who can interpret for you. In other words, bro, you ain't in Florida. Bro, you out here where we make up the demographic. You are chocolate chips out here. It's a few of you. It's a lot of us. So if there's a language barrier, it's because of you. That's basically what they told me. And once I got my head screwed on right, I understood that, damn, they got a point. They knew what I didn't know. I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that. And then you look around and you understand I literally took a count at that time. The best count I could. And I saw like 3 black people in a full store. I don't mean it wasn't no Asians, but I saw 3 black people. Demographic is everything. So this lady who was in these stores back here, this incident that I had yesterday, yes, she spoke perfect English, but she was told somewhere along the way not to talk to certain people. Yeah. It's crazy like that. And just as sure as it's happening in Denver, it can happen here. They're not just holding those arms in Denver. If you hit 6 or 7 pawn shops and take all of the sticks, all of the pow-pows, it's some other towns that's gonna see those same pow-pows. Same tactics are gonna happen. So people need to wake up and stop thinking this border stuff is just for certain states and certain areas, because it's not.
She happened to turn black, and now she wants to identify as black. And the crazy thing is, too, she's not an African American. You know what? I will give her that maybe her father has African blood, although he himself didn't claim it, but we'll give him that. But she is not an African American. At best, she is an American of Indian and Jamaican descent. It doesn't make her an African American. It does not make her what some folks say or call a foundational Black American. It does not make her what other people say or call African or American descendants of.
And I just want to quickly support what he's saying, because if you ask a Jamaican will tell you first, we ain't you. A Jamaican will tell an African that straight up.
Slaves. She isn't one of them. She doesn't have any people or any connection to Black folks from Texas to Florida, from Florida up to Delaware, where the slave trade. She doesn't have any connection there. Where's her pictures, honestly, with her Black family? We've seen a bunch of pictures with her Indian family, but where's the pictures with her Black family? I know her relationship with her father is strained, but where is her cousins? Where is her aunts at? Is this dude the only child? Does she not have any folks from Jamaica that claim her? Where is it at? Even, with Barack Obama, as much as people want to say what they want to say about him, at least there is some pictures of Barack Obama with his Kenyan relatives. We know his father was Kenyan, a Black guy, and we also know that he has some Kenyan siblings, a lot of them, because come to find out, I think his pops was, married to 2, 3, 4 women or something, which I think that's something that you can do out there. But at least we know for sure that dude's got some African in him. We're not for sure about counterfeit Kamala. We're not for sure.
She was him doing a suit of purpose, and now that she's running the black vote. Suits her purpose. So, like Trump said, now she's black.
Donald Trump is absolutely right. Her mother's Indian, her father's Irish Hindu, and she's always presented herself as Indian.
What do you think about Trump saying Kamala Harris is black? I thought she was Indian. She was saying she was Indian.
That's my response. Trump is an open book, yo. Facts.
That's just Trump being Trump. I don't believe he's racist. I don't even think he has a racist bone in his body.
Trump said that Kamala Harris always portrayed herself to be Indian, and now all of a sudden
Trump is not racist. There is so much documentation over the past 30 years showing Trump hanging out with all kinds of folks. He was Mike Tyson's, or still is Mike Tyson's, homeboy. He was there at the Michael Jackson trial. He received the NAACP award. Like, come on, man. Stop it with the
Several rewards from Jesse Jackson himself.
Trump racist stuff, because he is definitely not that.
she's saying she's black.
Right? Nah, she's really Indian. She just want our support. She trying to snatch our support away from Trump. But that's not how that's going down.
Reporting for Newsmax in the Bronx, New York, I'm Kara Castronova.
Wow. That was dope. Well, I'm not going to add any more context to this. I've already said enough. I know you guys probably are tired of my mouth and was like, man, let the video play. I know that's how y'all do. Let the video play. But hey, it's my channel, my show. And I want to give y'all, my thoughts. I hope y'all guys appreciated that, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love that everybody gives. We're fighting an uphill battle. Conservative channels, we're fighting uphill battles in these YouTube streets. Consider joining the ARP family. It supports me, the team, the channel. It gives us the ability to do what we do on a day-to-day basis. I appreciate each person that has joined the ARP family. We are at 100 members of the ARP family. And I just want to say thank you and God bless to each and every one of you guys that have decided to invest in me, invest in our team here. And I just really, really appreciate it. Promise you, I do not take it for granted at all. I really don't. And, helping, us small, YouTube channels forge a way, get the word out, and push against the mainstream leftist propaganda machines out there that they call mainstream news networks. We got an uphill battle, but we also have a country to save. I want to keep doing my part. I appreciate you guys doing your part as well. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. And I'm going to catch up with you all next time. Peace.
I used to sing in the choir. I used to run in the streets. Believed in American dreams. But you can be all you can be. What happened to you?
I swear, this dude highlighted my video. I didn't even know that, man. Whoa, that's why. He literally emailed me and said, check out my new, wow. This a real dude. I'm going to go ahead and blow this up because that's my music in the background. So, what the, whoa.
I grew from a boy to a man. That was God's plan. I just can't understand. Tell me what happened to you. America, what happened to you? Run it back, man. I used to sing in the choirs. I used to run in the streets. Believed in American dreams. But you can be all you can be. What happened to you? I grew from a boy to a man. That was God's plan. I just can't understand. Tell me what happened to you. America, what happened to you? I used to run in the streets, believed in American dreams. You can be all you was happening to you.
I'm like, Jesus, extra big.
America, that was God's plan. I just can't understand.
This brother is blow my morning up. Whoa. Like, I swear. Damn, that's what's popping. Oh man. All right, I'm a little bit caught off guard now. Like really, really humble, man. Wise. I appreciate that. I'm finna email this brother like right immediately. And I say I appreciate that because I've been listening to this brother for probably, 2 months. I'm just getting on to him, and I'm a solid listener now. But I really, literally reached out to his email just this morning. And that means this man actually allowed God to. That's a man that's not. That's a humble person. So as you see, he just did this post, and I mean I would have to think that because I don't know how to. I don't know how that stuff works because I'm not a good engineer. And so I'm thinking that he just had to do it. That would say that I'm just saying that he may have been busy, even when we was emailing each other, because it's around the same time frame. And God allowed him to put himself to the side and say, "Let me check out this guy. I don't know who this is emailing me. I got 100. I got 255,000 subscribers. That's what he has, not me. But one of them just emailed me, and I'm gonna take my time to find out what this guy is saying. Ladies and gentlemen, that means that is somebody who's worthy of your listening, your support. That's what presidents are supposed to do. That's what pastors are supposed to do. That's why I like the little church. I like the little church because the pastor know everybody, get to know everybody. He ain't too big for somebody to approach him and tell them what the hell is going on, what kind of chaos they're dealing with. They need prayers, they need this and that. When they get too big, they just do an altar call and throw everybody lumps in one bucket and say, come down here and pray. But them little tiny churches, brothers, everybody, brothers, they know everybody. Brother Jenkins and Sister Jenkins had an issue last night. I want to put arms around them. Carol Lewis had problems. They know everybody because the church small enough. So it's a family. I'm just going back to somebody with 255,000 subscribers said one of them is emailing me and I want to see what he's talking about. And in those links, I was kind of introducing who I was and letting him know that I was a fan of the page, loved his righteous perspective. You could actually see his motive for doing the right thing and saying the right thing in his presentation. So I was just saying, hey, I don't get a lot of support as a council artist for talking about the right thing. If possible, could you, blah, 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 blah. And man, this guy responded like none other. I'm humble for a lot of reasons and grateful to God. And as always, I like to say, I'm about to end this, but I like to say, if possible, this brother did it without ever hearing me speak. He just gave me a morsel. He just gave me inspiration. And that's what I mean. I always tell you, trust this. You will have that opportunity to bless somebody. You don't even know what type of blessing you will be bringing to them, but you will have that opportunity. The question is, will you take it? Will you take it? That's why it's right to be good all the time, not when somebody watching. Because you don't know when God watching. You don't know how God gonna come. Not that I'm just saying. So this brother has reached out and blessed me and don't even know in an awesome way, inspired. And I'm saying that because I always say, if you have that opportunity, which you will, bless someone today. Be the reason, be the vehicle, the reason by which they may say, thank you, Lord God, for showing that mercy to me. Thank you, Lord God, for that word of encouragement or inspiration. Thank you, Lord God, for that quarter. Lord knows I needed it. For that dollar, Lord knows I needed it. That dime, that morsel to eat, or that nugget to think upon. That shelter, that bottle of water. May you be that reason that somebody say that today. All right, man, that's it. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. And I definitely recommend my brother A Righteous Perspective on YouTube. And yeah, man, share that video. Share that video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And have a blessed day. Enjoy tomorrow. Be careful. The wild people gonna be driving on the holiday.